right? If you in any way bother the sheep of Helios, destruction for you, for the ship and the crew. He said, though you may survive alone, all your companions will be lost. And so he gives him this prophecy. He says what he wants him to do. He says, look here, after everything is over and done with, you'll make those men atone in blood, these suitors. But after you have dealt out death in open combat or by stealth, to all the suitors, go overland on foot, take an oar, until one day you come across where men have lived, with meat unsalted, never knowing the sea, nor seen seagoing ships with crimson bows and oars. The spot you will soon be plain to you, and I can tell you how. Some passerby will say, what winnowing fan is that upon your shoulder? Halt, and implant your smooth oar right there in the turf. Make a sacrifice to Lord Poseidon, a ram, a bull, a great buck. Then turn back and carry out pure hecatombs at home to the wide heavens' lords. And that's what he gets from Tiresias. He meets his mother. And from his mother, he gets something different. He wants to know first from his mother what caused her death. Wants to know about his father, son, and other men. Wants to know about his wife. And he wants to know about who's keeping the domains. And she tells him. And so she tells him each of those things, and she ends it by saying, note all the things strange here that you see here, to tell your lady in after days. And so we have the whole story of how all the women who've been relating with the gods and got pregnant and thereby and had sons of gods, what happens to them all, story after story, and how the heroes of the past were destroyed by greed and hatred and ignorance, including Oedipus. And then she goes back and gives an account to Odysseus, which again is Aegisthus' Hall. So therefore, look here. What's in fate? What is it he sees will be his fate then after all of this is over? He's going to have to then sacrifice after all those killings. But then he has a very interesting conclusion to the story, and that's what I'd like to delve with for a few minutes. Then a sea-born death, soft as this hand of mist, will come upon you when you are wearied out with rich old age, your country folk in blessed peace around you, and all this shall be just as I foretold. What's his end then? He's going to live at peace with his wife. All of his people around him then will be at peace, blessed peace, country folk. He's going to be a king. Kingly, I should say, right? His wife is called a queen. So in the end, she wants to know what's going to happen. Right to the end, she wants to know. Right to the end. Because she wants to know whether or not honor will be satisfied. Okay. No, I'm on the wrong book. Okay, hold on. So she wants to know what's coming. I'm in book 23. So Odysseus is telling Penelope. he says to her, then death will drift upon me from seaward, mild as air, mild as your hand, in my well-tended weariness of age, contented folk around me on our island. Penelope then says, if by the God's grace age at least is kind, we have that promise, trials will end then in peace. So what's the end of Odysseus? A long life with his wife. The land is blessed. Everyone thrives. The people thrive. That's the end. Is that a heroic ending? Is that the ending similar to Achilles? No. And as a consequence, what will the gods do? They'll sing that great story of Penelope in honor of what she did, because alone, Odysseus couldn't plan it. He couldn't do it alone. Not only did he need the help of the goddess, but he needed the help of Penelope. Penelope didn't need the help of a goddess to bring this about. She did it herself. Therefore, she's the true hero of the Odyssey. And therefore, in this ranking, she comes out on top, or at least equal to Odysseus and wiser yet. Therefore, is this the story of the heroic age?
Or the woman's age.
Is it? What kind of story will be sung then in the future? The gods will sing the story of Penelope. And in so doing, they'll use Odysseus here and there to fill in the story.
So what are we supposed to learn from all this?
Pardon?
What are we supposed to be learning from this? I'm kind of dense.
So am I. You can't be the only one here that's dense. Yes, you see? Well,
Well, he got back home to Penelope.
Yeah.
Not for that gift.
that's the
Oh,
story. That's the story.
The testing.
That's the hero to get back to.
Yes. A hero is not a hero until he can return home and play the role not of Achilles, but Odysseus. But he, being heroic, doesn't gain her until he passes all of the tests. For a man must be tested, you see. A man must be tested. And what's curious about this is he's tested by his wife. He's tested by a woman, not by the gods. He's tested again and again and again. That's his test. He passes the heroic test in the sense that he vanquishes all of the suitors. But that's not the story. The story, he has to gain his own home. He has to become master of his home, and he can't have that unless he gets it. Penelope. Penelope won't let him back home, won't participate in his life until she's sure of what he is and who he is. So I imagine from this point on, all heroes are going to have to discover what they are. So that's what I wanted to share with you.
That's really beautiful.
Pardon me?
I think that's beautiful.